Who finishes higher this season? Chelsea or Manchester United? We got two underperforming clubs full of high money, high value stars. Who comes out on top?
Easy answer, Chelsea.
Why is it so?
Yes,
now,
Babs, I like it.
Man United on 18 points, Chelsea on 15.
No. I look at United and I think they've got one very important aspect wrong, and that's midfield. And I don't think they've got the personnel to change it. Chelsea have got the personnel there. Not talking about strikers, but talking midfield defensively. Defensively, like, your record's not that bad, by the way. Like, I know in this game it was a bit open at times, but even like in terms of XG, I mean, Spurs had, I'd say, 2 big chances. Like, it wasn't massive amount of chances. Even their goal came with a deflected shot. So Chelsea aren't bad defensively. They have bad moments.
Very solid.
And I think you lose a bit of composure at times. But I think with United is the midfield is just, they don't have the right profiles. Mount and Casemiro, does that work together? Unless they invest in midfield, and also Ten Hag, we don't know if he's going to be there long term. I think there will be a change of manager there.
Why do you think that?
I think Ten Hag's, I don't think he's got that long there because there's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of players that seem to be like Rashford. Like, that's your best player and he doesn't seem to be for you. So there seems to be some sort of stuff happening behind the scenes. And because I think Ten Hag will get sacked eventually, there will be uncertainty. Who are United going to get then? Who's the next manager for United going to be? The Glazers will then get blamed as well because it's Glazers' fault for everything, by the way. Right? So I don't know. I think for me it's Chelsea because Chelsea have everything done except for the box difference maker, which if you sign in January, by the way, then, you know, Chelsea...
Ivan Toney linked, etc.
And I think, look, people are underrating how good Chelsea have, you know, in terms of the quality. Enzo, Caicedo, Gallagher, this is top quality midfield, by the way. So you have to look at United's team and go, they're good, but they don't really have a great attack. The defence is all over the place at times. Midfield's not there either. So Chelsea have got everything right apart from the final stages. United, I don't know what's going on there.
What's interesting with United though is they seem to play so badly and yet still win. I don't understand how they do it, and that's what scares me in this debate because it's like, do they get the points more than we do? Because we could play amazing in games and still get done against Brentford.
They've got elite attacking quality, and that's the difference. And I think what Chelsea have got to hope over this course of the season is that your process wins out because you've got a better process, you've got a better way of playing football. I think you've got better midfielders. I think you've got some better defenders. United have got elite attacking quality. We spoke earlier about that gap in your team in terms of the number 9 and number 10 positions. I don't like saying it. You put Bruno Fernandes into your team, you're a hell of a team. You put Marcus Rashford into your team, you're a hell of a team.
Even Højlund would improve Chelsea.
I think you can play very badly. And by the way, Manchester United do. You watch the games they win. They don't play well.
No.
They don't play well in those games.
That's what I mean.
They have elite attacking quality that scores them goals and wins them games.
They rely on individual brilliance.
Absolutely.
They don't have a system. Ten Hag has not got his team tactically well set up, but they've got quality.
It's the beauty of having players that are elite ball strikers. Bruno Fernandes could have a stink of a game, but he can strike a ball so clean that at one point he was going to find a shot on target and it will go in. Same with Marcus Rashford. Chelsea don't have the XG cheater. They don't have that player that will have a half chance play or score it. It's about, he has to be a tapping like Jackson had today, like time and time again. Even when he has half a chance, it might blaze over the bar. So because of that, United, you're right, have that elite quality. I don't want to say it's elite attack. I think it's just that one little thing they have there. But if Chelsea having Nkunku come back, which is again, by the way, that could be the difference.
How can we say that United have elite quality when Højlund has got a goal?
Yeah, that's what we said about Højlund. Højlund hasn't yet scored.
Højlund does not get service. If Højlund had half the service Jackson has, he would absolutely be eclipsing anything Jackson has done.
He has missed a lot of
but then you just said Højlund doesn't get service. What's going to change?
I'm just saying, for example, if Højlund was in this Chelsea team, I think he would absolutely be outperforming Jackson right now.
I'd probably agree with you.
I think the issue right now is he's not getting service, but when he does get service, I'm convinced that he has ability to convert the chances. More so, Bruno Fernandes and Marcus Rashford, when things do click, which at some point they're going to start having a bit more form, as Bruno Fernandes did, in what was, and I'm not just saying this, maybe the worst game of football I have ever had to sit through in my goddamn life. Fulham, Manchester United, and Fulham, you take a lot of responsibility. My God, you lot are fucking terrible. Like, Iwobi, I can't believe he sat there with Ian Wright and started acting like he's a big time footballer. Man, what happened to you, bro? That team was so shocking going forward. Like, any half decent team beat Man United that day. Man United were terrible. And look, they're celebrating fair play. You got the 3 points, you deserve it. But the way Fulham couldn't clear that ball out, it was like watching one of those old TV sketches, you know? It was horrendous. But Man United are absolute trash, but I always look at them and go, you've got those match winners. And I don't know, as good as I think Cole Palmer is, and a couple of other those Chelsea players are, it's hard watching them. It doesn't seem to click yet. Whereas Man United have got the finished articles, and Chelsea are like that young growing team that can't put it together.
But are we ignoring an elephant in the room here when we're looking at it and we're going, we have absolutely no doubt that Pochettino has all those boys very much invested into the project we've got here.
How do you know that?
You can see it.
I really don't see that. I'm not saying that he's not, but I don't see it for sure.
So obviously you lot don't, and why would you? Maybe Josh does. We watch a lot of like the behind the scenes stuff, the training ground footage, things like that. We also read a lot of the quotes that the players are saying about it. You know, we had Enzo and Caicedo come out this week and say people don't really, I'm paraphrasing, but people don't realise what a good team we've got here when it clicks and how competitive and how we're going to win titles here. And I get that you might say, well, everyone's going to say that, but I very much think when you look at the man management he's doing so far and the players that are playing for him, I think there's not even a question there of has Poch lost the dressing room?
All right, okay.
There's a very obvious question.
It's an easier dressing room to manage, though. Let's be honest about that. When we're talking about a Man United dressing room, we spoke about the wages, most of them, but also there's some big international players in there. Chelsea's a slightly easy dressing room. I'm not saying they're not talented.
No, you're right.
There's a lot of players playing their first league in the Premier League, and you're looking at a manager who has won stuff, who's managed at PSG. I think you've got a much better manager than Manchester United have, and I think you've got a manager who's much better suited to your project and better suited to the league. I do think you have to be fair on him a little bit and say that Manchester United dressing room, it don't look easy.
I would say though, Chelsea have multiple £100 million players though, so I don't want to give Ten Hag too much slack. Poch has got his work cut out as well. And by the way, Poch has got a whole brand new group of people who don't even fucking know each other. Whereas at least Ten Hag has those previous friendship groups to build off of. But yeah, I think it's quite ironic that when we look back at it, when Ten Hag was appointed, there was almost a social media campaign of Manchester United fans saying, we do not want Pochettino, we want Ten Hag. Well, be careful what you wish for, because I absolutely do believe that Poch is going to outlast Ten Hag, and I believe the long term he will be the better manager. But this season, I do feel like Man United have a little bit more firepower.
Do you know what this reminds me of, right? It's Arsenal Spurs 2021. Like Chelsea are the more expensive version of Arsenal's young team, and what United have is what Spurs had with just Son and Kane, Bruno and Rashford.
Yep.
If United get the right manager in, like one that could just make the attack efficient, get the best out of Bruno and Rashford, then they're going to have those games where they'll be awful. Like they're not as good as Chelsea across the entirety of the pitch. But in that final third, they have that one thing of going, like, give Bruno the ball, he'll play in a pass, and then Højlund might score. So maybe this season, United actually might, I'll take it back, maybe they might go over them. Maybe, if you don't have a goal scorer. But over the course of the next 2-3 years, you're going to lead United.
If you look at the last couple of times that Man United have parted with managers, if they do it in the season, they only do it when it becomes basically mathematically impossible that they're going to qualify for Europe. So I think that this sort of tendership under Ten Hag, it could carry, I'm not saying it will, he might turn things around, but it could carry on in this vein for quite a while now before he ends up getting the chop.
The maddest thing about Ten Hag is this is the worst performing team I've ever seen in my life have this many points. I am astounded at 18 points for Manchester United and 20 points for Newcastle. I am mind blown by I can't believe that Arsenal only have 6 points more than when you look at the difference. Manchester United to me look like a relegation side. When I watch them play football against Fulham, you can't sit there and go one's better than the other. They're both absolutely horrendous.
But then do you know why that's so impressive? Because I said to you before a ball was kicked, if we don't win tonight, if we get beat tonight, season, apart from maybe the domestic cups, are pretty much done, right? And that is because the damage has been done. I was saying to you, I don't doubt that at some point we could start to tick, get things right, go on a 6-game unbeaten run or whatever, but the damage is going to be done. If by some sort of miracle, which it looks like at the moment, Man United do suddenly click, they get things right, Rashford starts playing, Bruno Fernandes ups his attitude and starts performing like he did a little bit to get a winner in that last match, then all of a sudden you look at it and you go, you know what, you're only a win or two off top four anyway.
It's mental.
But don't you think there's a theme here that United's wins against teams that they should be beating, and like last year, the teams in the good games, they keep getting battered. It's the same thing as last year. But
the difference this season is in those games against the teams that they should be beating, they're performing performing like they should be losing those games as well now.
Yeah.
This is the first time where I'm like, you guys should be a relegation battling team. They're that bad. But look, you're completely right. I think that it could click. And the one thing I will say is, as we point out, Chelsea have a lot of young players. Man United have established players who not long ago have won Europa Leagues, who've actually competed at a high level. They've finished second. They've done stuff, right? So let's put it to a vote. I'll start with you, Babs. Who finishes higher, Chelsea or Man United?
I'm going to stick with Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea. I think Chelsea will finish higher. I think Chelsea will.
Man United. Not joking, Chelsea. Of course it's Chelsea.
I think Chelsea, I honestly believe this. Taking my bias out of it, I do think we finish higher. I just think they've been so dysfunctional. I've just looked at the fixtures they've won, by the way. They've beaten very easy teams. Teams that they should be beating.
Brian's right there. They scraped those games.
Yeah, and scraped
It's like last minute corner kicks.
Bro, when I watched that Bruno Fernandes goal going against Fulham, I belly laughed. I was like,
United goal.
Like, the defending from Fulham and the way it drops to Bruno Fernandes, there's something about them. And when Man United, they've won 5 or 6 games this season. They've played so bad and they keep managing it. I'm like, something's going right for you guys this season. I'm gonna say Manchester United scrape it higher than Chelsea.
I think it's tight. I think it's going to be super tight. And I have to say, I do think it's a lot on either you guys getting a striker or a forward in January or on Nkunku coming good. Mm-hmm. Because I'm telling you now, if you play like that all season, United do just have the quality that they might finish above you. Do you know what I mean? They are getting those bits of luck.
United are about to get tested though. They got Everton away, Newcastle away, then Liverpool away as well.
Chelsea.
Villa away coming up. Listen, this is about to be difficult for Man United. So
December is make or break for Man United.
It's good to look at United fans.
Do you know what as well? We're talking about the managerial situation there. I feel like I've been doing the kickoff for ages now. But on my first ever show, we did a little vote round the table, didn't we? We said first manager out of the big clubs to get sacked, because history would tell us that one of the big managers is going to get sacked. We all sat round the table and said Ten Hag. And we're now, 12 weeks on from that show? And we're all sitting here and still going, probably Ten Hag.
Do you think he gets Christmas?
Now I've heard that run of fixtures.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
If they lose to Copenhagen in the week, could that be the game?
He could go.
The thing is, next 2 games are good. Copenhagen and they got Luton at home. So if he can win 2 games...
I think there's 2 kinds of Man United fans. There's the ones who really watch the football and the ones who just celebrate the result. Because I see the difference on social media where the people who are champion Ten Hag, I'm like, you really don't know what you're looking at, do you? And when them lot switch on, it's curtains for him, because they're going to need the results to change.
Yeah.